Shalom, family. It's the Hebrew Life again. It's Shaq Bay Jerusalem, and I'm back with another lesson. I want to share with you guys a few visions that the Lord has brought upon to me over the years, and I finally got the confidence and enough strength to give you guys these visions and dreams that the Lord has brought me through the Holy Spirit and through His Son, not only to me, but to my wife also. And it's an amazing thing when your visions connect. As the Bible say, two become one. And so has our desires and our dreams. And we could call this prophecies or visions or dreams, end time dreams, or whatever you guys want to call it. I'll figure out the title. So, everything started, I believe, in 2008. I was 18, still staying with my parents, living in a basement, and I didn't even know the Lord then. I wasn't an Israelite or anything. I was living in my wickedness, thinking everything was good like everybody else. So this first vision the Lord brought me, I was at my old home. I used to stay in a little red house from, I guess, 1 to 16. When I was 16, we moved to a better neighborhood. It was a little better. It wasn't that much better, but better than where we were coming from. And at 18 years old, the Lord brought me this vision. I was sitting at my old house that I grew up at. And at my house, you could look across the street and you could see the junior high school. And I used to walk to the junior high school every day to go to school, and I remember walking. They used to have a hole in the gate, and you would walk across the football field and you would walk into the school's parking lot. And behind the school, you can see the highway. It's a viaduct. You can see the highway, 4 lanes, 2 on one side, 2 on the other. And I remember looking across the street, the houses were removed, and I could only see the school and I could see the highway behind it. And when I looked up above the highway, I seen a wall of water. I'm talking about probably 1,000 feet in the air. And it finally, registered me like, I don't think people was going to survive this. The people on the highway will probably drown, and all of these houses around me will eventually be destroyed when this wave of water, hits where we are. So I instantly, I heard in a dream, I heard a voice say, go do what you always want to do. Go, whatever you want to do, go wild out. I could hear car alarms going off. I could hear people running around. It was just chaos. And I didn't decide to go in with the chaos in the dream. I decided to drop down to my knees and pray, because that was the only way I seen myself making it out of this body of water that was coming towards me. I didn't find any pleasure in running around and trying to do everything I desired to do before the water hits. Now, this concerned me to research the Lord. I searched for the God of the flood before I was ever an Israelite. I wanted to know what happened, what caused the flood, the ice age, or whatever they want to call it. And I found out that the Lord said He would not destroy the earth again by water, but the next time it shall be by fire. So, I'm from Illinois, so we don't have any seas by us that could be hit by an earthquake or a meteor that would cause a big flood. So it didn't physically make sense to me that it was a body of water that high where I was, living at. We got the lake, but the Lake of Michigan, but no. So once I realized the Lord wasn't going to destroy the earth with water again, that I had to figure out this vision. Now, in Revelation, it says the whore of Babylon sits on the water. It says, and the waters are peoples, tongues, and nations, a multitude. it took me years to figure out what the waters meant that were coming against me. I had to talk to people, research. I found out a lot of people had the same vision. It says in Job 33 and 15, in a dream and in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and a slumbering upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. He keepeth back his soul from the pit, and his life from perishing by the sword. That's Job 33 and 15 through 18. And I truly, truly believe that that's what the Lord was doing for me. At 18, I was running the streets, doing what everybody else doing. But that dream stuck with me. That vision stuck with me. And I always felt like, okay, the end is coming soon. Whether it's through water or through some type of catastrophe is going to happen that's going to have mankind running around like there's no tomorrow, committing sins. And I knew in that moment that I must stick with the Lord and fall to my knees as I did in that dream. Which brings me to my second vision. I was going to barber school. This was about 2000, maybe about 6 years later. I was 24. I'm going to barber school downtown Chicago on Wabash Street. And it was a struggle going to school, but in between this, the Lord brought me another vision. And this vision was, I was getting off the train. I was headed downtown. I was on my normal routine I go through every day, going to school. I get in the car, drive to the train station, get on the train shoot me downtown. I get off the train, I walk a couple blocks, and I'm at barber school. So in this dream, I get off the train, and when you're walking up the stairs downtown and you coming from the train, you walk up the stairs and you can see the city, you see the cars, you see the sidewalk, you see people walking, and okay, I'm here. In this dream, I get off the train and I'm walking up the stairs, and as soon as I get upstairs, I look in the sky and I see a ship or some type of shadow vehicle over the whole city. I'm talking about not just a part of the city. This thing in the sky was covering the whole city. The best way I can explain it is the movie Independence Day, when the big ship hovered over the city and it caused a shadow to go over the whole city. That's what was going on. And when I seen this, I said, what is this? What the hell is this? And I seen a man walking past, and I said, hey man, what's that in the sky? And the man said, I don't know, man. I got to get to work. And I said, work? You got to get to work? I had already decided I wasn't going to school today. I was going to get back on the first train headed back to where I come from in Kankakee. So, I remember in my dream thinking, I'm not going to school today. I'm not going another step towards the school while this is in the sky. Until they can explain what this is above the city, I don't see how society was still going on, but apparently in my dream, people were still working while there was a big question mark hovering over the city of Chicago. I'm pretty sure this was all over the news but in my dream, everybody had become comfortable with it. And they kept with their regular scheduled programming, which was very weird to me. And when you start thinking in these dreams, you wake up. And that's what happened. I woke up. That was my second vision. Now, all of these visions are going to connect. This third vision connects with my wife vision that I'm going to tell you shortly after I tell you my last vision, so you can see the connections. I believe all this was brought to me by the Most High, and it's a big responsibility to have the vision, live with it, and bring it to other people. I had to talk to my father, my wife, and different people to decipher my dreams also, because I couldn't do it myself. I didn't fully understand the meaning of what was going on until I spoke to other people. So, my third vision, which is the most vivid one out of all of them, I was in a field. I was like in a building, but or a house, but I could see through the house. It's weird to say, you're in some type of safety place, but you could see through the walls, you could see through the ceiling. And when I looked, I felt the ground rumbling. I seen tanks coming towards me. I seen airplanes in the sky running into other airplanes. The airplane that ran out of bullets and missiles and decided, hey, I'm just going to kamikaze and run my aircraft into the enemy's aircraft and blow it up. And this what I seen in the sky. I seen soldiers running with guns in front of the tanks. And I was in a dream. I was holding on to somebody, and they were dropping bombs on this building. I was holding on to what I felt was my sister, my baby sister. But as we braced for the bombs to hit the building, the building only shaked. If a bomb hit the building is supposed to disintegrate in physical real time. But the Lord, something was going on that was beyond my understanding and beyond my physical scientific understanding. The bombs were hitting the building and the building was still standing. They were shooting at the building. They could not touch us. It was weird. The airplanes, bombs, the helicopters, guns, none of these things could penetrate through the building. All I did, I remember holding on to my sister and I braced for the bombs and nothing happened. I just felt the vibration. It got to the point in the dream where I became so comfortable at this safety place, this safe haven the Lord had provided for me, that I started calling people to try to get them to where we were, because it was clear that the soldiers and the airplanes and the tanks and the bombs could not affect nor harm us. So I called my mother. This is a very hurtful part of the dream, because it let me know that my mom, she needed to be closer to me and closer to the Lord. Because when I called her, I said, Mom, where you at? I know a lot is going on. You need to get over here where I'm at. And she said, baby, I'm stuck in traffic by the college, the KCC Community College. And, I had a vision of seeing her stuck with thousands of cars in traffic, and it was almost impossible in the dream for me I would have to leave my safe haven place to go get her and hopefully bring her back to this place where we were protected. And, when I started trying to think about how I could get her to me, or how she could come to me, or how I could come to her, so I woke up because I started thinking too hard. It became unreal, and that's when you wake up in your dreams, when you start thinking and things become too real, or a problem comes, or something happens that you can't really explain that causes your mind to think. And I woke up, and that vision stuck with me for years. I spoke to my mom about it, and she's got better over the years at, trying to find the Lord, and I thank her for that. And I just wanted to understand what the dream meant, but the more I seen how the world was moving, and I seen how everybody was going to war, and every man against every man hands, and these rumors of wars and wars, and I realized, okay, one day this country I live in, the barriers will be penetrated. I done plan on moving anywhere else. I know the Lord had me exactly where He wanted me to be, so I knew this would happen exactly where I'm at. And I thank the Lord for Him finding me. So after the first vision, in 2014, my grandmother passed. And, shortly after that, I realized, that I was the chosen people. We were the Israelites who were, brought over here through the African diaspora, through the slave trade. And that our bloodline is royalty and belongs to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So with that vision, it opened up a lot for me. I met my wife in, I believe, in 2020. And, as soon as she met me, she was already, I felt she had energy on her. As soon as she met me, she started having visions. And her first vision was, she sent it to me. I'm going to read it to you guys. I want to be right on point with this. So she said, in my dream, I was at my grandparents' house. It was getting dark, but not quite yet. my mom and I were leaving. I looked in the sky and there were lights in the clouds, and I looked harder and realized they were ships hovering around, but you could barely see them. Now, in this dream, she said that she was pointing to the ships, and her mom or her auntie wasn't able to see the ships, but she was able to see them. So I felt that was a big thing too, that she was the only one out of everybody who could see these ships hovering in the sky, and nobody else seen them. Now, she had another dream. She said the other dream I had when I was pregnant, I was in a shuttle bus with other people going to a building to get away from an aircraft with the laser beam, and the shuttle was going too slow, so I jumped out and ran, being led by two boys, and got to safety, just barely making it. Now, me and my wife had two of our sons pass, twins, Isaiah and Isaac, a year back. So, this was right after that. And I found it very weird, in this dream, that she said something was in the sky. Past the skies, we could see in the atmosphere shooting down laser beams. She also said in this dream that the ship was saying, "Soon you'll love the darkness." And everybody was running around. She said this ship in the sky also could see the light within people, or the lights within their vehicles. Now, it was daytime. Now, I don't think people ride around with their lights on daytime, and I don't think that's what attracted this ship in the sky. I believe it was the light of the Most High that this ship seen in people. This shuttle bus, she said, was people scared on the shuttle bus. And when the beam got locked in on the shuttle bus, they knew the shuttle bus would be blew up. And she said some people stayed on the bus crying. Some people got off the bus and ran towards the safe haven. Now, I find this very funny because she said that the building that she was running to, the beam cannot lock on to hit the building with its laser. So this building that she was running to, being led by two boys, which I believe were angels or some type of help to lead her to a safe haven of the Most High, she ran for the safety. And it's weird to me that something paranormal and something super galactic could be shooting people from a different atmosphere with a laser beam, but this laser beam isn't able to lock on certain buildings and certain places. Just as in my dream, the helicopters and the bombs weren't able to hit us, and if they did, it was just a little vibration. It wasn't a mass destruction as a bomb should do. I believe, and we both sat down and we both talked about this and we connected the dreams. Me being in a safe haven, being protected, and her running to it, she didn't. I was inside of the building of safety, and she was running to the building of safety. And I believe that's why the Lord united us together, so she could be saved, and that I may be saved by having a good wife, and that we may put our visions together and see that the Lord will protect us in the last days. Whenever danger may come, that I believe this building was the Lord. I don't believe it's an actual building that could protect us, made out of brick and mortar. I believe the building is the safe haven of the Lord, the refuge, as he says in Psalms, the wings that cover us. And I believe the word will cover us in the last days, and the word will cover us through this danger that's coming upon the world. So, these visions were very, very vivid to us. And they made me look into the Lord a little more, because there's nothing man could do to protect you when trouble is coming. There's nothing man could do to guarantee your life or guarantee your safety or your children and your family and your wife and yourself when danger is coming. The Lord has revealed to us the danger that's coming, and we must prepare ourselves and be ready and be prayed up and be on the right track with the Lord, so that we may inherit the blood of his son, Yahushua, Christ, so that we may be protected just as we was protected in Egypt when we put the blood on our doorposts. I believe that day is coming again, and the Lord is going to bring us out of Egypt again over here. And it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be destruction from all sides. And if you don't have the faith or the belief that the Lord can protect you, you probably won't be protected in those days. If you don't hold on to the very last second, knowing the Lord will come to save you, then you probably won't be protected. You probably be destroyed by your own thoughts of your own mind. The world will be in complete chaos. Robberies, murders, rapes, thievery, lies, unleashed. And only the saints, only the elect, only the chosen who hear his voice, the sheep that hear his voice, will be saved. It will be some supernatural savior that lets you know that it was more than something physical. It was a spiritual protection over us the whole time. And that's what the Lord showed me. That's what the Lord has shown my wife, that our protection is coming in a time of danger, and that we should fear not. We should fear not. We should look the bullet right down the barrel and understand that it will stop before it hits us. And these dreams and these visions is just one of many visions I've had, but I had to share this with you because I see on the internet there's a lot of people the Lord has brought visions to and dreams to, and they've been called to share it. So I'm just doing what the Lord has told me to do. I've been called to share my visions and my dreams with you guys, and hopefully in the comments I want you guys to share your dreams and your visions that the Lord has brought you, and see if we have anything in common as being saints of the Most High. I'm Base Jerusalem. This is the Hebrew Life. Shalom, family. Shalom.